Hi, my name is Chris, and welcome to the Health and Safety Training at Rock and Roll Daycare. We'll be covering a lot of things in this training, including infant sleep and naps, bottle feeding and meals, toileting, diapering, toothbrushing, morning setup, evening breakdown, emergency plan and procedures, and off-site procedures. Let's start with infant sleep and naps. So one of our greatest concerns as infant caregivers is SIDS. SIDS stands for Sudden Infant Death Syndrome. And the state of Massachusetts adheres to a number of protocols to prevent SIDS, the most important of which is that all children under 12 months old must sleep on their back under 12 months old must sleep on their back at all times. No blankets, pillows, soft toys, or anything may be allowed in the crib, so that children aren't holding on to things close to their mouths, aren't rolling over on them. Anything that could possibly be dangerous to the child should not be in the crib. Thus, the crib should be free of any kind of material. Additionally, crib sheets must be tight at all times. Caregivers should continually be making sure that crib sheets are tight so that children aren't getting caught in loose sheets. And if a sheet is the wrong size, please do return it to the parent. Request that they bring in a fitted sheet. Take measurements, ensure that the parents have the measurements so the correct size sheet can be provided. For toddlers and preschoolers, mats are used, and they should be used exclusively for nap time. Both mats and 3 feet apart or 2 feet apart or facing head to foot. And again, a tight-fitted sheet again should be placed on for children under 12 months, but for children over 1 year old, the crib sheet does not need to be tight-fitting, and the children may also use blankets, pillows, toys, any kind of lovey or specific material that the child likes to have while they sleep. Moving on to bottle feeding. All bottles must be labeled with the child's name and the date that milk was expressed. If it's formula, then a date does not need to be placed on the bottle, but the name of the child should be placed on it. Rock and Roll Daycare purchases inch bug identification bracelets, and these should be purchased at the beginning of any child's enrollment at Rock and Roll Daycare. Bottles should not be propped at any time. A child can hold their own bottle, however, an educator does need to be sitting beside them at all times. When a child is over 1 year old, then they can hold the bottle freely. Any time that a bottle feeding is being administered by a caregiver, gloves should be worn and they should be disposed of following the giving of the bottle. Bottles should not be microwaved and should only be heated up by soaking the bottle in a bin filled with warm water, or a caregiver can hold a bottle under hot water as it pours out of the sink. Any milk or formula that's removed from the refrigerator is only good for 1 hour, and after that hour is over, it must be disposed of. And additionally, no milk or formula may return to the fridge once it has been removed. Caregivers should not be giving milk or formula back to parents at the end of the day. It should be disposed of unless it's been in the refrigerator or the freezer all day. For toddlers, family-style snacks and meals are the way that children are served, and the children should be taught to serve themselves. The environment should be prepared so that's an inviting environment for children to engage with the food in front of them. They should be able to take portions according to the amount that they wish, and the portions should be laid out in a manner that's attractive for the children to approach. Prior to eating, all the children's hands must be washed. If the children are playing with materials, books, toys, prior to eating, the hands need to be washed. Any eating surface must be washed with soap and water before it is used for eating. If there are books on the table, then when the books are removed, the table needs to be washed again prior to use for eating. Staff must wash their hands prior to serving food, and they need to put on food handling gloves at any time while handling food. and they must remain on during the entire time of a snack, of a breakfast, a lunch, any meal. All the eating surfaces must be washed with soap and water after a meal or a snack is over, and the floor area must be cleaned following eating. Children can participate in these processes. They can help with the cleanup using brooms and dustpans, wiping the table with their hands. However, these items should be completed immediately after a meal or snack has been completed. At Rock and Roll Daycare, the state of Massachusetts requires us to be very careful as to the procedure that we take to change a diaper. To do so, please place changing table paper on the changing mat before bringing a child into contact with the changing mat. Place gloves on both of your hands and lift the child into place on the changing mat. Maintain one hand on the child at all times, even when reaching for diapers, wipes, diaper cream. Maintain one hand on the child at all times. When the change is over, dispose of the diaper, gloves, and changing table paper, and immediately afterwards wash the child's hands as well as your hands. Afterwards and between changes, spray the changing table surface with bleach and water solution. Now it's time for your first assignment. Perform a sample diaper change on a doll in front of your director. Now that you've completed your first assignment, let's move on to toddler and preschool toileting. The procedure here is very similar. First, you'll place gloves on both hands and you'll wipe the toilet seat with bleach and water solution. If there's a toilet seat cover that goes on, please treat it the same way. Then assist the child to sit on the toilet seat, flush the toilet as needed, and then dispose of your gloves, wash both the child's hands and your own hand, and then spray the toilet seat with bleach and water solution. Toothbrushing is a procedure that's required regardless of age, and all children must have their teeth or gums brushed daily unless it's specified in writing by a parent or guardian. Toothpaste may be used only if provided by the parent. Each of the toothbrushes that children are using should be replaced every 3 months. If your toothbrush is expiring, please replace it with a new one and place a label on each toothbrush as well as the toothbrush holder. Toothbrushes cannot touch the same tube of toothpaste. If you're going to be using the same tube, then place different blots of toothpaste on different areas of a plate or a bowl, and then dip the toothbrush itself into the blob of toothpaste. Children's teeth should be brushed in a circular motion, not by pressing hard on the teeth or scrubbing them, but in a gentle circular motion. For teachers coming in for the 7:30 shift, please follow the morning setup procedures that should be placed in your classroom. If not, please do make a copy and place them in your classroom. First thing that all staff should be doing is clocking in on Nimble schedule when you arrive in the morning. Turn on the lights, adjust the temperature. Temperatures should not be higher than 68 degrees. Prepare bleach bottles in solution. That's going to be about a 1/4 tablespoon of bleach to 1 part gallon of water for each spray bottle. Make sure that those are filled up and disposed of at the end of each day. Prepare any soap bottles and put away any clean toys that have been lying out to dry from the previous night. Do a quick observation of the room and sweep or wipe down surfaces as needed. Restock paper and paper towels, and place out any morning activities or adjust the classroom area so that the materials are prepared for the day. Do any preparation for morning circle or activities. And after you've completed these activities, or if things are ready prior and there's no children in the classroom, you may use your time for R&D time. At the end of the day, please follow the breakdown procedures. Put away all the toys that are not on the shelves, that are loose on the floor. Put them away so there's one item per area of shelf. Make sure that all of the tadpole reports have been sent out to families, that those reports are published at the end of each day. Soak all dirty dishes, toys, and any toys from the mouthing bin can be soaked on a mouthing bin and then placed on a towel to air dry overnight. And then sweep and wipe down surfaces, including countertops, sink, toilet seats, changing tables, with the bleach and water solution prior to disposing of it. Any toys that were used that day in the gross motor room, wipe them down with bleach, put away dishes, restock any supplies so you're ready for the next day, and make sure you're turning the thermostat off in the summer, or if you're in the wintertime, make sure that the temperature is adjusted so it won't go below 50 degrees. And then turn off the lights. On Fridays, please follow the additional procedures. Send home any sheets and blankets or clothes that have been dirtied during the week. And use bleach solution to clean each sleeping cot and crib to wipe them down each Friday. Wash any plastic bibs, toys to air dry, and do a final sweep of the classroom. Evacuation drills should be practiced each month, one time per month per classroom. Evacuation procedures should be posted at each exit door. In the infant classrooms, infants should be placed in emergency cribs, and toddler or preschoolers may exit the building with or without shoes, whatever they have on at the time, in a calm, orderly fashion. When children exit the building, they should arrive at the front of the building, and a roll call should be done 2 times by the center director. In the case of a missing child, the director shall then do a final sweep of the building itself. When going outside or to the gross motor room or anywhere outside of the normal children's classroom, roll call must be completed audibly by name for each child that's leaving the building or going to another area of the building. Roll call should be done at the time of leaving the classroom, when arriving at the destination, when leaving the destination, and then lastly arriving back at school. So 4 times roll call should be done. A written attendance record should be traveling with the teaching staff for every child, regardless if it's just going to the gross motor room as well as going to the park. Vests should be worn at all times. Infants, toddlers, preschoolers should be wearing vests whenever they're exiting the building and not under parental supervision. The vest should include the center name, address, and phone number. If there's a vest that doesn't include this information, please bring it to your director's attention. The next section we're going to discuss is reports and evaluations.
At the conclusion
We'll
of this
begin
training,
by
please
covering
print out a
tadpoles,
certificate
the reporting
stating that you
daily
have taken
device.
this training.
We'll talk
and
about
present it to
child
your
developmental
director for
reports.
inclusion in your
We'll
file.
go over a weekly checklist that should be submitted by all classrooms.